Hello and welcome to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be the second game of a best of two series between Tengen Gaming and Isurus Gaming, as Isurus are very late to the lobby as they had a bit of a time mess up. They didn't calculate it correctly across time zones, so they showed up about 40 minutes late. So game 1 was a definite win for Tengen Gaming. But we are going to still have game 2, so at the very least, Isurus Gaming can hope for 1-1 in this match. But as for your casters today, I'm going to be Grandis V, and I'm going to be joined by Mike Loris. Finally, we get to cast some Dota.
5 seconds.
Oh, Mike Loris, I think your mic might be muted.
Reserve time.
Hello?
There you are.
Oh, there we go, yeah. Alright, this is the second huge delay that we've experienced today, which is really, really fun. Like, I enjoyed sitting there for 40 minutes just waiting for Isurus Gaming to show up. And, well, one person from Isurus Gaming showed up, fullback. The rest are stand-in. So, although Isurus Gaming are technically in this game, they're not really in this game.
Pretty much. They start out with the Shadow Shaman as the first pick, which I guess is solid. I don't know. My checklist still has a couple of names on it. We have the Skywrath Mage still left in the pool. Brewmaster is available. Death Prophet also still there, and plenty of other heroes that both of these teams probably prioritize pretty high. But yeah, as you said, Isurus Gaming, I'm not even sure if it was really worth playing this game, but we'll see how they play with pretty much a 5-pub stack.
Yeah, I mean, Tengen, they gotta hand it to them. They waited for a very long time, and they could have easily said, nope, screw that, we win. We're just not gonna play the second game because we're tired of waiting. But you gotta hand it to them, and, well, I actually am kind of jaded, and I hope Tengen Gaming win this game a little bit, just because, well, they were on time, and they were waiting.
Yeah, I don't know. Great sportsmanship, but then again, on the side of Isurus Gaming, when you're in a tournament, you need to know when to show up. Honestly, for this next pickup, though, for Isurus Gaming, I think Death Prophet would be pretty solid for them. But Tengen already have their supporting duo in the Earthshaker Skywrath Mage, one of the premier supporting duos, with just really good roaming potential with the concussive shot, as well as the fissure coming out, and a whole lot of teamfight damage and good pickup potential all around. Just a really solid supporting duo.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman is a pretty good hero to support and do kind of the same thing, though. As you said before, Skywrath Mage Earthshaker is already the combination that Tengen are going to go with. And that's the type of combo that can pretty much literally go into any lane, drop a couple skills, and get kills. Or if that's not what they want to do, they could babysit whatever hard carry they want, because Skywrath Mage is one of the best heroes at doing that, and Earthshaker could always set up kills or just be on pulling duty. And either way, Tengen have a lot of flexibility in how they want to use these heroes. That will kind of depend on the heroes that Isurus Gaming pick up as their support roaming combination. If they're a little bit more passive, then Tengen Gaming are definitely going to want to roam around the map a little bit more.
But Isurus Gaming go for the Bat Rider here. It's very peculiar to see Bat so highly prized in a draft. These used to be very common to see first and second pick Bat Riders, but at least in this patch he's really fallen off. He's still pretty much the king of single target initiations, but in the current meta, you're looking more at 5-man pushing, and although he's really great at defending the high ground, I don't know, it still kind of falls behind like your utility Faceless Void.
I think part of this pickup is that Batrider is very, very hard countered by a Vengeful Spirit. You could swap and instantly break that lasso, but since Tengen have already picked up both of their supports, there is a much lower possibility that they're going to be picking up a Vengeful Spirit. Of course, carry Core Venge is always on the table, but not really in the middle of the table. It's more off to the side. And Earthshaker is a pretty good counter to Batrider as it stands, so well, we'll see if Isurus Game are going to get away with this Batrider pick, or if Tengen are going to go deep in trying to counter it.
Honestly, I think they already have plenty of tools to deal with the Bat Rider already. With the Earthshaker Fissure, you're not really going to be able to pull anybody very far away if the Earthshaker is in position, especially until you get a Force Staff, and I don't know, by that time it's pretty late for the Bat Rider to really get online. Yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see how much they want to commit into making this Bat Rider's life really terrible. Next couple bans coming out for both teams. We have a lot of teamfight being focused out by Isurus Gaming, with the Brewmaster and Tidehunter being banned out. No big surprises there, as those both would have been solid picks for Tengen Gaming. And on the side of Tengen, they banned out the Death Prophet.
I think for Isurus, I would like to see a Centaur here, actually. Having Stampede with Batrider initiation is pretty ridiculous because not only can the Stampede get Batrider in or out, but having that secondary initiator is really helpful for the Batrider in case the lasso goes south. Batrider is all of a sudden stuck in a place where he really would not like to be. So having a Centaur buddy there with him is certainly very helpful. Plus, it'll just solidify their lanes a little bit more. But as it stands right now, Ancient Apparition is going to be the final ban for Tengen Gaming. Then they're going to start to pick up some cores. Against this Batrider, I think they're expecting this Batrider to be off lane, so I don't really know if Tengen Gaming have much of a need for specific types of cores. I think they can go for pretty much no matter what, whatever they want.
Yeah, because more often than not, Batrider is going to soak some experience to start off, and then back up in the jungle, get his Blink Dagger online. At which point he becomes a threat, but in the laning phase, although he's able to hold his own and usually not die, it's still not the greatest and can't put that much pressure, especially if it is a dual or tri-lane. Viper, the pickup from Tengen Gaming, really doesn't say how they want to lane this. This Viper could feasibly go into any of the 3 lanes, whether it be top, mid, or bottom, as long as he has some support in top or bottom.
Viper's also a core that Tengen Gaming have picked up that is kind of okay with being lassoed. Like, no one actually enjoys it, but he's a very tanky hero, and if he does end up getting lassoed, then Batrider is going to be dragging this very deadly bomb into the middle of his team, so Viper probably will pop off a mech, drop a Viper Strike. At least he'll do that before he dies. So it's a good core pickup in order to kind of pseudo-counter the Batrider. Of course, Viper, if he is truly outnumbered and he's not that farmed, then he can drop in the duration of the lasso. But in general, Viper should be able to survive a little bit longer than any other core hero.
Yeah, a fair assessment of the Viper pick here, and more than anything, just going to give them a decent lane that should, in theory, win for Tengen Gaming, wherever they put him. As for Isurus, their draft can go in a whole lot of different directions. They have a decent start to a pushing lineup with a great way to start the initiations, as well as a good way to transition those into pushes. But both great standalone heroes as well, so we'll have to see how Isurus Gaming are going to flavor their lineup with these next 2 picks, taking a lot of their reserve time to think about it.
They can go for, well, I was going to say go for lots of bodies, Nature's Prophet, Enigma type of route, but instead it looks like they're going to for now pick up a Mirana. Could be a support Mirana. It's a decent roam combination with Shadow Shaman, who usually does offer quite a bit of time for the Mirana to get into position and fire off an arrow. Though, if it is a core, wouldn't really mind seeing that either, although Skywrath Mage with that silence already is going to mean that Mirana's going to have to deal with that, plus Earthshaker stuns. And if she does end up in a lane 1v1 versus Viper or now a Morphling, she's not going to have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Shadow Shaman's decent setup for the arrows as long as you have a clear shot at it, but really you need something else on top of that to really make it reliable. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how Isurus are going to lane this Mirana, but I'm going to assume that that's going to be a farming carry Mirana, and not a roaming support. Although Shadow Shaman and Mirana could be a decent roaming duo.
Yeah, I actually am not a fan of farming Miranas in general. Like, I feel like there's no reason to make her farm when you could very easily pick up someone like a Morphling or Viper who could pretty much do what Mirana can, except better all the time. But as yours, they're going to go for a Treant Protector, so that is going to shove the Mirana into that farming role. I really hope she doesn't go towards the mid lane, but the Treant Protector with the Shadow Shaman, it's a decent roam combination. I would say it's probably not as good as Skywrath Earthshaker, but if they catch someone out, they might be able to take them off, especially if they open up well with a Hex.
Yeah, or if Treant Protector at the very early levels starts out with those boots and Leech Seed, and just starts off with that, and then with the Shackles, a lot of damage can come out from a Treant Protector if he has the uptime on those auto attacks. So I don't know, it's not the best, but then again, it's definitely a combo that could go aggressive, and with the Mirana, they might decide to do that as well, and just go straight up aggressive up against Tengen Gaming. Presumably up against a Morphling, and stopping him farming could be pretty good. But then again, Tengen Game could also just switch their lanes up a little bit, put Viper in the tri-lane up against the aggressive lane, and then have Morphling farm up the mid.
Viper and Morphling as solo lane heroes in general a little bit stronger than Batrider Mirana as their solo lanes. Final bans out, Ember Spirit from Tengen and Centaur from Isurus, as Tengen is their last pickup, is going to be that Clockwork. So a little bit of initiation for them. It's another great tool to use against a Batrider if you are in position and your buddy gets hooked. But enough about Clockwork, because we see a Meepo on the field. There's quite a few tools that Tengen have in order to deal with this Meepo.
Yeah, I don't know, they have a Clockwork which is great at isolating a single Meepo. Picking a Meepo up into the Earthshaker is also really bad. If you blink all of your Meepos in the middle of a teamfight, that's just begging the Earthshaker to dunk in your face. I don't know, this is going to be a very difficult game for the Meepo. There's a lot of great ways that they can isolate a single Meepo clone and focus him down. With the Skywrath Mage ulti, with Viper Strike, I don't know, it's going to be hard, and then later on you're dealing with a shotgun on the Morphling. Usually magic damage isn't the best route to go when you're dealing with a Meepo, but with Ancient Seal as well as the shotgun, anything is going to be obliterated. And unless this Meepo gets off to an excellent early start, I don't see it working out for Isurus Gaming.
I also don't really see him getting off to a super great start. As it stands, I think Meepo he'll possibly go towards the mid lane, but if he does end up going against Clockwork, Morphling, or Viper, this Meepo is just not going to have a great time. Also, something to consider is that this game, I think, ended up started on the US East server, and Fullback really didn't want that. So he's the one handling the Meepo, and there's a little bit of a server conflict not in his favor.
Yeah, I don't know, and Meepo with the server issues could be very sketchy, and yeah, US East has had some hiccups, so hopefully the server will be nice to us, but at the very least, I'll go ahead and start us off by introducing the Radiant side, as we do have Isurus Gaming, or at least Fullback +4 playing on the Radiant, with Fullback taking up that Meepo, Rampage going to be playing on the Shadow Shaman, Merlino Jr. on the Treant Protector Ninja, playing on the Mirana, and their last player is Scarbus, which will be playing on that Mirana? No. What was the last one? Batrider. That's right. Yeah.
We got Batrider, who's currently AFK, but we have another team in Tengen. They waited very patiently for this game. The Clockwork has a mustache. What the hell? That's crazy. That's like
I love that.
some like Dr. Wily stuff going on right there. But Ayumi Love is going to be playing that hero. Bart, I guess just Bart, is going to be playing the Skywrath Mage Railgun, going to be handling the Viper. 2 Nurlas on the Earthshaker, and Noobs Are Us is definitely going to be playing the Morphling. He already has Wraithband and a couple of stat items. No regeneration, but if he does get 2 Tangos pooled to him, then it might be a Morphling going toward the mid lane.
I assume that's where he's going to be heading. Yeah, I think that the Skywrath Mage's name is Bartlett. I don't know.
Okay.
But Bart is probably acceptable. We'll just go with Bart. That's probably the safest bet.
Yeah, we're close buddies, so we just call him Bart. Only his closest friends call him that.
Buenas.
Are we going? Okay, well, I guess Tengen have earned a couple of seconds of pause time, seeing as though they did wait for a very long time. But yeah, the Clockwork kind of was cut off by the Meepo pick, because whenever there's a Meepo pick, you're kind of obligated to say something about it. It's a good counter initiation tool versus the Batrider. If the Batrider does jump in and he grabs, say, the Morphling or the Viper or whatever, if Clockwork's in a good position, Hookshot is a great tool, just shutting down the Batrider for those couple of seconds. And those few precious seconds where the Batrider is using the lasso but is unable to bring your friendly back to his team is really going to make the difference, especially when you're holding onto an Earthshaker and Skywrath Mage combo.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, on that side note of the Clockwork's cosmetics, there's actually 4 styles for that mustache, I assume. I don't know, I'd like to see all of them. I'll have to look at that after the game. But for now, back into the game, and we'll see how these lanes are going to shake down for the teams. I'm going to assume that Noobs RS is going to take up mid, and he'll probably get pulled some tangos either by the Skywrath Mage or by the Earthshaker. Both have their own set.
If we take a look at Fullback, he's currently heading towards the mid lane, so it is going to be a mid lane Meepo. I think he's going to be pretty happy that there's a Morphling on the other end. Like, it could be really, really bad. Like, it could be so much worse. Hell, even Clockwork versus Meepo 1v1 in a lane. Though Clockwork isn't often seen in the melee, I think he could certainly have a favorable matchup there. And Viper, if Viper was in the mid lane, then Meepo is going to get absolutely demolished. Like, there's no hope for him. So, him versus Morphling is probably the best matchup that you could hope for, but we'll see if that is actually going to come together.
Yeah, I think really the hope for the Meepo, if he was up against a Viper, is just going to be get his level 3 as fast as he can, and then start stacking up and double stacking up his neutral camps, if they're not blocked especially. That's a great way for Meepo to get back into the game after a slow start, especially on the Radiant mid-Meepo. But yeah, I think he will be pretty happy that Noobs R Us is going to go mid on that Morphling, but I think this is a safer move coming out from Tengen, because up against a tri-lane with a Shadow Shaman Treant Protector as well as Mirana, Noobs R Us wouldn't be able to get that much farm, and Viper definitely would be able to get a little bit more out of that lane and have less risk of dying, so I think it's a pretty solid move coming out from Tengen. For now, they are going to go as a 5-man unit and go into the enemy jungle to secure some control there as we have everybody reconnecting.
And hopefully that will stay the case. Everyone will stay connected to this game. But Isurus, they are gearing up to... Oh my god, Isurus, come on. Isurus, they are going to be sending 3 heroes for now down to the bottom lane. Shadow Shaman, Treant Protector, Mirana. It's some pretty decent setup for Mirana. Like, it's no Shadow Demon, where it's the arrow is more or less guaranteed every single time. But they have a lot of slows in the Leech Seed. They'll have the Hex, they'll have the Shackles eventually. I think that's enough to land an arrow. The question is, do they have enough damage afterwards in order to get that kill? Because Mirana, not exactly the highest base damage, and if it is going to be a clockwork, then Cogs can come out and more or less completely protect the clock.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Treant Protector's early ability. He's already put the point into living armor and hasn't gone for the boots early on. I don't know, I think this pretty much neuters the entirety of Treant Protector at the early portions of the game. It makes him so he can't play aggressively at all. So I think it looks like Merlino Jr. is just going to be pulling the side camps and getting his experience there while he waits for the next level. But Clockwork should be able to get a decent amount of this lane, as long as he doesn't get caught out by the shackles of Rampagey or get caught out inside his own cogs by an arrow from Ninja.
There's also a possibility that the Clockwork goes to the top lane and he just solos up versus the Bat Rider. It's not the best situation for the Clockwork, but of course that will put the Tengen tri-lane of Earthshaker, Skywrath Mage, maybe Morphling, maybe Viper, down to the bottom. And if that tri-lane does happen for Tengen, do you think it's going to favor them?
I'm not entirely sure. I think if they win aggressive, they definitely put the Morphling in mid and put Railgun and company down in bottom. I think Morphling, especially with the lack of regen he has, just wouldn't function very well in that lane, but it would keep the supports busy and make sure that they didn't rotate up towards top on the Clockwork or on mid on the Morphling. So it definitely could work out for Tengen if they want to be more confrontational. But for now, they're smoked up into the enemy woods, and will they find anybody out? It looks like Ninja might get caught off from the rest of his team. Smoke's going to pop, start out with Fissure, lands onto 2. Rampagey is caught up very far ahead, and with the battery assault already leveled up, they'll be able to isolate him away from the rest of his team. And Clockwork picks up first blood in the Radiant jungle. Don't think anybody else is going to die, but for now, a well-executed first blood by Tengen.
I think you said something about Tengen being confrontational. I think you probably can't get much more confrontational than that. Diving deep in order to get that first blood, putting themselves at no risk at all. When you have a Earthshaker from the get-go, then first bloods do become a lot more viable and they have a lot of damage. Lino Jr., how lucky are you at dewarding? Looks like he is going to spot the sentry. So well played from Isurus. They're going to secure their pull camp. But of course, being down 1 kill from the get-go, not how you want to start your game. And, well, it actually is going to be a Clockwork down on bottom. And he has First Blood gold, so he can pick up boots right now if he wanted to.
Yeah, and that'll make sure that the Clockwork's a lot safer, although he doesn't have his level 2 and cogs available, so the lane equilibrium for him will be a little bit less favorable. For now, mid looks like it's going to be the position of the next engagement as Meepo. He's being stalked by an Invis Skywrath Mage as well as an Earthshaker. They don't have Concussive Shot just yet, but they can lead out with a Fissure coming out from Earthshaker. Where's the block? Will he throw it out? No, he won't. Very awkward as we just kind of sit in, and Bartlett gets shown by the tower, so I think that's pretty much going to be it, as Meepo is just going to be forced back to play incredibly defensively and probably just looks for a stack at 53.
A little bit of a mistake from the Skywrath Mage. I mean, if you do see an Earthshaker in your lane as Meepo, yes, you have to play defensively, but I think just showing yourself as a Skywrath Mage was a pretty big error. They could have backed off and possibly tried again, but, I mean, just by showing yourself, that denies all possibility of that happening, but Skywrath Mage is going to be doing a little bit of stacking action in the jungle so that Morphling could, later waveform that down or whatnot. In the meantime, Railgun up top is going to be putting some real hard pressure on this Bat Rider. The Bat Rider does have Boots of Speed level 1 to keep him a little bit safer. The Viper has Magic Stick, so he'll be able to spam Poison Attack as much as he wants. And if he gets 1 more point in Poison Attack or even gets a little bit more in that skill later on, then he could very easily get solo kills versus Bat.
Yeah, especially if Bat is playing aggressively up, and even if they're not solo kills, like just 1 Fissure is going to spell a lot of trouble for the Bat Rider. Even though he can fly over, just having the extra auto attacks coming out from the Viper could spell his doom. For now, we're just going to have the supports playing very defensively, and all of the action is going to be isolated in everybody's respective lanes. Clockwork is pretty far zoned out, but he does have his level 2 now, so it looks like he's going to cog block up these creeps, or maybe just look for a body block, saving the cogs in case anybody dives him under tower. But yeah, Morphling gets a really good start up against this Meepo in mid. Zoning out with the supports, I mean, it's not the greatest that they weren't able to get that kill, but in the end, Meepo only sitting at 6 CS, about half of what the Morphling has at 11-5 currently.
Morphling with the very, very stat-heavy opening item set, and bottom lane arrow will be thrown for Ayumi, not going to land, so I think everyone's going to back off there. But Morphling starting off with the Wraith Band plus Iron Branches. He had 2 tangos shared to him, so he went for as much stats as he could possibly get, and then morphed a little bit into agility straight after. So he was working with a very, very large base damage advantage, and Meepo characteristically has very low base damage. So as far as last hitting is concerned, there's really not much you could do about that if you're Meepo, except for try to get some stacks going. But it looks like right now, Batrider, he's been pressured enough out of the lane so that he's going to be looking to stack up. It's going to deny a little bit of farm to the Meepo and also free up the lane entirely for Railgun up on top. He now has free reign of a 1 versus 0 lane.
Yeah, I don't know, this Viper should be able to get a whole bunch out of this lane and get a very early Power Treads, Basilius, and as well as a Mechanism, and potentially put some pressure onto this tower. Although not the fastest pushing hero, Nether Toxin damage will start working onto this tier 1, and if you're left alone in a lane, there's very little that the enemy team can do about it. So it looks like restarting Steam can potentially fix the lag problems. So it looks like Isurus are going to go ahead and do that. For now, I haven't actually seen any real issues like we were seeing earlier. So for now, all of the heroes are not sliding around and being slideshows. So hopefully that gets fixed for the players. But yeah, not sure if I like this move by Scarbus to take away this stack from the Meepo. I think that would be really important for him to get his extra farm. But for now, with the 2 Meepos, last hitting is a possibility up against the Morphling, as well as just double poofing down waves. So it looks like he's just going to rely on that in order to get his farm.
He's also going to rely on Merlino in order to pull the hard camp. There is actually the Sentry Ward, I believe the D-Ward attempt from Isurus previously to clear their pull camp, ended up blocking the camp right above it. So that's a little bit of a mistake coming out from, I believe it was Merlino who placed the sentry, so whoops there. But he will be able to stack up the hard camp, and already the other hard camp is being stacked from the Batrider. But as much as you get from the jungle, you do get more from being in lane. So Viper's certainly going to understand that, as he's going to go for, I would imagine, a really fast mech, because Ayumi on the bottom lane, though he is doing okay, he's level 3, he's going to get zoned out pretty heavily by this Mirana Shadow Shaman combination. There's really not much you could do about that as Clockwork, except for wait for level 6 and possibly get a kill on the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, because if you try to go on the Mirana, she'll just be able to leap away if you cogs her in. So Shadow Shaman is the only one he can really isolate. Yeah, and for now it's really just going to be a waiting game until they do get those spells online. Or until we see a support rotation coming out from the Dire team. They could make something happen. We have a concussive shot waiting in the way coming out from the Scarlet Mages. Everybody reconnects back in the game with the exception of the Earthshaker, but he should come in shortly. But yeah, looks like with the Scarlet Mage, they potentially want to make a move onto the Meepo.
I don't know if they have enough damage to kill out this Meepo.
Yeah.
Waveform does do some pretty decent damage as far as nukes go, but it's only level 2. I mean, 175 damage there, a couple of Arcane Bolts. They stand a very slight chance of killing off the clone because it doesn't have the Stout Shield, but if really ganking without the Earthshaker at this stage is probably not going to result in anything, especially when Meepo is sitting at full health. If they chipped him down previously, like if he was at 500-ish HP, that'll be a very easy kill, but right now I don't believe they can get something in the mid lane.
Yeah, especially with Meepo's increased magic resist, they don't have really all that much physical damage to put into him. So yeah, especially without an Earthshaker getting off a clutch block, I don't think they'll be able to get this kill at this point. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the Scarlet Mage is doing on this hill. We'll have to see. It doesn't have any wards. The 2-minute rune has already spawned. It was sat on by the Scarlet Mage, so potentially trying to make good use of his time after securing the illusion for Morphling.
Hey, they got the bottle, so even if they dive him and it doesn't pan out, it's very unlikely that they're going to be punished as far as death is concerned, so might as well just bottle up, rinse, repeat, and try again later. But yeah, these pauses, man, these are really starting to get to me. So many pauses after a 40-minute delay. It's a lot of downtime.
It really is, and I don't know, there's not a whole lot to talk about. No game 1 that we can reference, as that actually didn't go through, and I don't know. It feels lonely without everybody else from HeflaTV.
Yeah, we're stuck holding down the fort here when the teams are unwilling to play, which is not really the best situation. So Clockwork, let's talk about Clockwork build for just a second. He's not having a great time in this lane. Do you go for maxed out Flare in this particular scenario, or do you get 2 or 3 points in Flare, or do you just say, screw it, I'm just going to wait to level 6, get Battery Assault, and then look for kills on the Shadow Shaman, possibly even the tree?
I think 2-1-2 would be solid. The extra point in Flare would help you CS in lane. Since your tri-lane doesn't need all that much help, I don't think going for the third point is going to be very useful, and especially since you can't really zone out the Shadow Shaman or the Mirana either with those extra points. So I think either just go full into Battery Assault and wait until level 6, or get a secondary point into Flare if you want a little bit more farm. But for now, just kind of waiting for somebody else to get into the game. I don't know, I don't think that Isurus have any grounds to complain about pauses, since they were 45 minutes late, and the rules state that you should get a def loss at 30.
Oh, for sure. This guy is just... I mean, it's good to know the rules on pausing, but at the same time, you don't have anything to stand on at all. Like, you're standing on literally nothing.
Yep. I don't know, end rant. There's not a lot more to say there. Yep.
Alright, so, well, Earthshaker is level 2. He's, I believe, probably just going to continue on pulling and stacking and whatnot. He did end up dewarding an Observer Ward that was placed previously by the Bat Rider. It's a little bit of gold for him, but ultimately that vision isn't really going to make much of a difference. I guess they could spot if the Earthshaker was pulling or roaming around or whatnot, but yeah, there's not too much going on in this lane, guys, so we are at the mercy of Volvo's servers, and as of right now, Volvo are really dropping the ball in the US East.
Yeah, for sure. I hope they're able to get this all sorted out before Techies gets released in the next week. Or at least that's the promised date, before the end of August.
Was that really stated by them, or are you
Yeah,
just
no,
saying
that's stated by them. When they released the workshop tools, at the bottom of the post, they said that they want to release Techies by the end of August, after flaming Arteezy a bit for his performance in the All-Star match.
By the end of August 2014, right? Because this is Valve we're
of
talking
course.
about.
It could be very well August 2015, and we'll just have to wait another year. Honestly, I wouldn't be too heartbroken, but I definitely do want to see 6.82, as, I don't know, this meta is kind of getting a little stale.
Yeah, I mean, I've always welcomed metas where Meepo is a viable pick, and I'd say this one is... It's kind of there. I mean, he's obviously, as a hero, designed not to be a 100% all-time pick, like every single game type of hero. But if you could pick him up occasionally, like exploit a weakness with him or whatever, then I think the metagame is in a decent enough spot. But there are just a couple of heroes that you need to hit, mainly our checklist of, Razor, Doom, Lycan, with the Shadow Shaman, Skywrath, Brewmaster, those types of heroes.
Yeah, I think there's 10 that really need to be hit by the nerf stick, and then there's, I don't know, a couple that I'd like to see a little bit of buffs going their way. I don't know, not sure if you really want to buff Lina that much more, but maybe a tiny little change. Crystal Maiden, we haven't seen her in forever, that could also be nice as far as supports. And I don't know, I think Spirit Breaker needs some love. I think he's like the only hero that hasn't been picked at all in competitive games.
You just got to bump all of their armor up by 1, right?
Absolutely.
That should give them a lot more play.
It should. Literally no damage. That's what they did with Techies. Didn't they give him like 7 in one patch?
Techies 7 damage?
7 armor.
They gave what? No.
He has like currently like, I think they gave him 6. I think he used to have 1. Now he has 7 armor at level 1. I will check that.
I'm up right now.
I'm pretty sure that that's the case.
Because that doesn't really sound like, oh my god, he does have 7 armor.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't going crazy. Yeah, he does. His base damage is abysmal, but yeah, literally no damage.
I think that my worst experience as Techies was laning 1v1 against a Centaur mid. He got 1 point in return, and I just killed myself trying to attack him. It was terrible.
I don't think... In a lane 1v1 versus Centaur, you just spam out the waves with your mines. I think that's all you can do. But for now, Earthshaker gets back in the game, and, well, that's going to be the damage of it as we get back into actual Dotas in mid. Scarlet Mage shows his face, and they're actually bringing Meepo down fairly low, but Fullback should just be able to send that one back to base, as there is a waveform by Noobsaurus, but he's netted under tower, going to take a lot of damage from the single poof, but can bring the secondary Meepo in. If he brought the second one, that could have been a kill. Although he would have died for it.
Yeah, I think he also had the poof on cooldown since he just used it to get out.
Fair enough.
Noobsaurus jumping a little bit too far. I don't think he expected to be caught in tower range. Obviously, the tower did the majority of the damage there, but still, level 2 Poof does do a lot of damage. I think Poof, in general, if you do manage to catch the enemy with both of the damage instances, then it is among some of the higher damage what's among the higher damages nuke in the game. Actually, no, 280. Never mind. It's still average. But hell, when you have a whole bunch of meepos doing it, then you're going to be dishing pretty hard. So Morphling is going to respect that fact, although to be fair, he was sitting at around 600 max HP, so the Strength Morph is definitely going to keep him safe in the future.
Yeah, for sure. For now, it's just going to be a very passive game. I'd like to see some aggressive rotations, but there's really not a great place for them to gank. I don't know, they don't have the greatest ways to lock down a Morphling. They have the single target stuff coming out from the Shadow Shaman, but that really doesn't cut it against the Morphling when he's able to Strength Morph as well as just keep him safe with the waveform. He is coming down bottom with a Haste Rune, so this could be the rotation we're looking for. As Rampagese, he's going to be caught under tower. The right clicks are coming out from the Morphling with the waveform. This should be enough damage. He's going to get hexed up, but Noobs is very fast chicken and will be able to make it out there alive. Flare not enough as he was able to get a little bit extra regen, and for now, that rotation is going to be completely without fruits as an arrow does miss wide right.
Oh, the Clockwork. He put up his cogs and ended up catching his friendly Morphling with the Haste Rune, who was more than happy to chase down and kill off that very, very weakened Shadow Shaman, as we see Scarbus dropping really low, but it's just in the jungle. He'll be just fine. So unfortunately, the Clockwork kind of messing up there, and he will let that kill get away as Noobs R Us was unable to secure that one. That would have been, I would want to say, for sure a kill for Noobs R Us if the cogs didn't go up at that time, but I mean, in the heat of the moment, you know, you could kind of cut him some slack, maybe. But he has actually gone for a 2-2-1 build, and, well, it was kind of close to what you predicted, but Rocket Flare will remain level 1.
I don't know, this is something I've pretty much never seen. The extra duration on cogs is nice, but I'm not sure if it's really worth prioritizing that early. Against a Meepo, potentially he could be breaking those very fast if you catch a couple of Meepo clones inside of there, but at the same token, I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. Speaking of the Meepo, he has managed to catch up a little bit in lane with that rotation from the Morphling. He's now sitting squarely, evenly in CS, both 27 and 27. As up in top, they get a concussive shot the way of the Batrider. Now the Arcane Bolt silence goes his way. They don't have the silence, but the long-range Fissure will land. Now the Viper Strike looks like our Batrider is going to give the kill. The Firefly's not really going to save him there, and Scarlet Mage comes away a kill richer. Now the Tier 1 tower also going to take some hefty damage as the creeps are auto-attacking there, and Noobs R Us finds himself a regeneration rune.
It's a really easy kill up on top lane, and the scary thing is they could continue to do that pretty much non-stop as long as they have their Viper Strike available to them. But yeah, going back to the Clockwork, the main leveling issue of cogs that you get it. Oh wait, bot lane,
Fissure
gonna catch two. A Rampagese will instantly throw off the Hex. Yumi Love taking quite a bit of damage here, but he's gonna get the cogs in for Lilo Jr. instantly. Though they're gonna turn around on it. Here comes Railgun though with the poison attacks. He's gonna secure the kill on the Shadow Shaman at the very least. He'll tag Ninja with the poison as well, trying to go for two. It looks like he's gonna change his mind and go for Merlino Jr., who will try to teleport in the trees, but I think the damage should be enough. It will. Railgun gets a very quick 3 kills, 1 in the top lane, 2 on the bottom. So this Viper is, well, he got free farm earlier, and he's going to get even more in the kills as Bartlett might be in a little trouble up top. He has a concussive shot to throw, and he could turn around on Scarbus. Ayumi Love is in the area, and concussive shot will land. There's the battery assault slowing down the Batrider even further as the flare does come in from the previously teleported location. There's the cogs will push Scarbus a little bit longer, but they need more. Ayumi Love's getting demolished by these creeps, and I think he might go down, though he has a flare. Fire the flare! Shoot it! Turn around, shoot! Oh, he misses! I don't really know where that was aiming towards, but he's gonna survive, as will the Batrider.
I'm not sure how he made that out alive without dying. He was turning for that flare, and I was almost for sure the Batrider would die, but in the end, not gonna happen. Meepo's actually managed to catch up admirably in farm, and now has the Ogre Club working towards this Aghanim Scepter after farming up a couple of the stacks. Looks like he took out the large one over here, and I think they had another one somewhere else inside his jungle. But now at the top of the last hitting chart, as well as almost net worth, but with the Viper getting 2 kills as well as 2 assists, you can't really compete with that one.
And Mirana is farming okay and down in the bottom lane, but she definitely doesn't have the kill assist score to really support it as the Viper does. Meepo is going to, well, actually blink stationary, but Morphling unfortunately doesn't have a waveform. If he had a waveform, that would have been a dead Meepo. But he's going to pop a regen rune. This still could be a dead Meepo unless fullback actually teleports out. He needs to poop out right away. He will blink back to the base. Noobs R Us handling this lane pretty well, but at the same time, there's no pressure being applied to this Meepo. Finally, Generla is going to rotate in with the Fissure. So I think they might be able to get a kill on this Meepo. However, they'll have to chain stun him pretty well because he does have proof backup in base, but never mind, the Fissure should be coming in shortly. Where is the Earthshaker? Move in. There you go. There's the Fissure onto 2. Waveform is available. Morphling just right-clicking away. Waveform forward, full back though with the living armor. He's going to throw the net and then poof himself. Tunerla will try to stun that out, but it won't happen. He's slowed down now with the double net. Here comes teleportation from the Tree and Protector. Tunerla is going to be dropping. Noobs R Us has another waveform, but he's being chased down by 3 heroes. He will waveform back up to the high ground, and I think he should be fine from this one. But a pretty good turnaround from Isurus Gaming, but they do lose the top lane tier 1 tower in the meantime.
Yeah, honestly, I'd forgotten that we had the Tree and Protector in the game, that living armor coming in pretty big there for the Meepo, and allowed him to turn around, gets the net onto 2, and they were able to get the kill on the Earthshaker despite them going for the dive. TP cancelled by the Clockwork. Not sure what he's going for. Who's he caught eyes on? The Batrider is there. Will he be able to line up this hook shot, though? He comes up to the creeps. There is a ranged one in front of him. He looks for the hook, not going to land. Not enough range there on the Clockwork. Yeah, so for now it's a tier 1 tower trade. Or tier 1 tower going the favor of Tengen, although they missed a kill on the Meepo.
And Meepo getting kills is definitely not what you want, although he didn't end up getting the kill, he just got an assist. But it's a hard hero to actually lock down and kill if you don't have a overwhelming crushing number advantage. And what was 2 heroes versus the Meepo, which isn't really enough unless you have some really powerful heroes. Morphling at this stage, not really the hero that you want. An Earthshaker who is being out-leveled by the Meepo is also not really the hero that you really would want in order to gank him. If they had the Skywrath Mage there, that would have been cut and dry and easy gank on that hero. But as it stands right now, Meepo is not being shut down or slowed down at all. He's farming his jungle, he's farming the lanes, and keeping himself safe. The Aghanim Scepter is going to come pretty soon, and then at that point, Isurus Gaming are going to feel pretty comfortable in this lane. But bottom lane, Ayumi's going to pop the Battery Assault, will instantly get Hex, although he hasn't popped the Battery Assault. Needs to pop the Battery Assault. There's the Fissure and a Battery Assault. Rampage is going to get caught in the cogs. Ninja going to get pushed back, and he's completely out of mana. I don't think you can get out of this Ninja. He might be able to fight his way out and will put some damage on Tunerla, or you can just shuffle back and forth awkwardly. He's going to die in the trees, but Morphling, though, is stuck. He'll be able to escape shortly.
Yeah, they wanted to make a go on the Viper. They were picking him out and making an aggressive rotation, but in the end, Railgun just fine. So the action all focused down in bottom as 2 kills get thrown the way of Tengen. The tier 1 tower has been taken previously by the Mirana, who now has a Midas in her inventory. So the tower trades have been even, leaving Tengen with overall just a little bit more gold as they jump in mid with that newly acquired Blink Dagger on the Batrider. Meepo going for the triple move. He's going to land it on Railgun. He has a mechanism to help him a little bit with the Flame Break. It's just too much damage. Scarlet Mage ulti not going to land on very much of anything except for one of the Meepo clones. Still not enough damage to get that kill, and an arrow lands onto the Clockwork as he's just setting up for that. And now he hook shots away to the Skywrath Mage as the Serpent Wards have been committed. Only 3 of them are in range of the tower. For now, that's going to be the damage of it, although a little bit of harass damage on the tower. Really nothing at all as they change targets to the heroes.
That could have gotten a lot worse for Tengen. They didn't expect there to be that many heroes from Isurus in the mid lane at that particular time. I mean, obviously the Viper was caught unaware, but also Tengen, they kind of tried to back up their Viper and got punished a little bit from that. I mean, Clockwork being forced to use this hookshot defensively is not what you want. The cooldown isn't that large, but still, when you get 1 kill with Clockwork, the next thing you think is, okay, when is my hookshot back up so I can get another kill? And it's going to be another 30 seconds until he has that one up, and I don't believe he's actually used a single one to get a kill. Yeah, I don't think that's happened.
Yeah, he missed one, and then he used the defensive one, and that's been about it. I'd like to see this Clockwork and Skywrath Mage look for ganks together, as once you have somebody in the cogs, the Mystic Flare is very easy to set up, but they just haven't been able to find anybody just as. The tier 1 tower in mid is going to fall the way of Tengen, and the bottom tier 1 is also not looking too healthy, although with the Tree Protector on the pitch, that should be remedied fairly shortly.
Shortly, 5 heroes there for Tengen. I was thinking they might even want to look for a fight as Clockwork's hookshot was just cooling down, but it looks like they're instead going to all rotate down to the bottom lane and secure that very weakened tier 1 tower. Isurus, though they can mount some sort of defense with the level 11 Meepo, it'll be a little bit difficult for them because, again, Tengen, they do have that single target burst. If they do catch a Meepo out, then they could very easily bring him down, even though he is a pretty high level, and especially with Merlino Jr. Trying to pick a fight with Noobs R Us. He's getting demolished by this double damage Morphling. Fissure will secure the kill there. In the meantime, on the right side, it's going to be a lasso. Going to catch the Skywrath Mage, and then the Meepo is going to beat him down. So it's 1-for-1 trade in the end, though an ultimate was used by the Batrider. Noobs R Us still with a double damage rune, and Tengen might still want to go for this. However, they don't have their Clockwork. He's still up top.
Yeah, I don't know, that Tree Protector wanted to go for the Morphling kill with the help of the Meepo, but in the end, I think he just didn't see that double damage rune because that's a fight you cannot take. Morphling with just innately high base damage. He was hitting for more than 200. At this point in the game, it's just too much. Living Armor wasn't blocking enough of that damage in order to save him. Yeah, Clockwork is still chilling up top as the tier 1 tower should fall in the favor of Tengen. Living Armor has been committed to the tower finally, but it's not going to heal it enough to where this is going to be safe. And it doesn't look like they'll defend it, especially without the lasso of the Batrider available.
Looks like they will perhaps get a trade, though fullback is thinking as to whether or not he's actually going to commit to that mid lane tower. They will pop the Moonlight Shadow and Railgun, going to get tagged by an arrow, but out of tower range. I think he should be just fine here. No one else from Isurus are around. The rest of them are actually around the mid lane, both the Shadow Shaman and the Treant Protector, and most of the Meepos. So Ayumi Love going to look for a hookshot angle. However, Serpent Wards, it's dangerous hookshotting into that. He will once again miss. This Clockwork has not really been on point. Still 2 heroes on the bottom lane for Tengen, but it's going to be a 2v2 as Batrider does teleport in, does not have a lasso for another 10 seconds. Nubarus does have Replicate Illusion up. So if he does get lassoed, he might survive and just jump out of there. However, Bartlett might be in a little bit more trouble. He's going to play Ring Around the Rosie a little bit with Ninja, though, unaware of that fact. Ninja is still hidden to Tengen. Now he's not. There's the concussive shot, and instantly the jump in from Scarbus, but the Mystic Flare has already been dropped with the Ancient Seal. Waveform will secure the kill on that Mirana. Scarbus is going to try to get a kill on the Skywrath Mage. He will secure the kill with that Flame Break. Noobs are still alive and fighting, but in the meantime, mid lane, the tower does go down. I'm not really sure what the defense was like there for Tengen, but it is a 1-for-1 trade down on bottom lane as Ayumi Love up on top, looking for even more as the tower is dropping very low. There's the battery assault. He's going to try to go for the Shadow Shaman, who will get brought down very low. Do that waveform. Armor's going to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Actually, might completely keep him alive as he does get the lasso onto Ayumi. Noobs are trying to focus down fullback. Can they kill this Meepo? They will be able to, but they can't kill the Shadow Shaman. Merlino Jr. does not have any invisibility, so he's just going to try to run his way out of here. He does have teleportation support coming in as in the form of Mirana, so an arrow might be thrown and it might connect onto Ayumi, but it looks like instead Ninja going to get in close for the stars, which is going to bring Ayumi pretty low. He's going to hook shot in onto Merlino Jr. Noobs are not doing enough damage. He has a waveform, but Merlino with the armor on him. Ayumi Love getting get focused down by Ninja. Noobs are still trying to get something to happen here, but he just doesn't have enough damage right now. Where are the rest of Tengen? They are all on the bottom lane. Noobs are us. He is completely out of mana to strength morph, and he's going to slowly try to run away. Another arrow is going to come off for Ninja, though. Chunurla is there with a fissure, has an Echo Slam, and he's going to get a huge one, annihilating the Treant Protector, and then the Enchant Totem for the Mirana. Now Scarbus way out of position. He's going to get a Mystic Flare dropped right on top of him. Yeah, you rarely ever see neutrals contributing to a Echo Slam, but it certainly helps.
Yeah, especially that small camp. If that was any other camp, I don't think that would have gotten the kill on the Treant Protector instantly, and potentially Mirana could have lived as well. But that's a camp with, I believe, at least 5 extra units, so catching out 7 in that Echo Slam, something you usually don't see from Earthshaker, especially pre-Blink Dagger. The action around the map has been very spread out, as both of the carries on the teams have their first major item, as we have a Morphling with Lincoln Sphere and Meepo with Aghanim Scepter. He got it very early. We'll have to see where fullback is going to go with this, but I don't know, in that last fight, the Micro just wasn't there. He was poofing with all of his Meepos, but one of his Meepos was dangerously low, and he didn't cancel the poof in time in order to get it out to safety, and it was just right-click down. Had he canceled that immediately and not tab-poofed everything, he would have been just fine, I think. And that could have been a completely different engagement. But for now, the Tier 1 tower down in bottom is going to fall as they shackle up an illusion, I think? Yeah.
The Skywrath Mage also accidentally popped the dust. I don't know if they had any indication that there was actually a Moonlight Shadow going on, but either way, that Satchel is going to be offline for another 40 seconds, which is going to slow down any attempts of Tengen to be aggressive. And, well, so far they haven't actually been fighting with their entire team. I think there was a point in mid lane where they were all there, but that's about it. If Tengen had more heroes up on top while that very long exchange was going on, then it could have gone very different for them. But for the most part, it was mostly just Noobs are us there. I mean, Chunurla coming in the final hour certainly did help, but if he was there from the beginning, that would have been such an easy cleanup.
Yeah, for sure. Treant Protector going aggressively. Oh, that's another missed hook shot for the Clockwork. He's only hit 1 this entire game on an enemy unit. I think, yeah, just not impressing me. He pulls the battery assault up and the Clockwork cocks him in, but he gets lassoed. There's no force staff to get him out of there, and he's trying to pull him away. He won't be able to do so as he gets bounced away by the cogs. But they're still burning in the fire and the flames as Lincoln Sphere has popped on Noobs R Us, and he's just bursted down, or will he be? Yeah, there you go. Flame Break comes out in the Clockwork. He'll be bounced back as Martin Ultimate has been deployed. Looking for this Clockwork kill. They blink forward, but now he's going to be slowed by the Viper with the cogs bouncing him back. Ayumi Love might survive, and it looks like he'll be out scot-free, or will he? Looks like that's going to be fine as Ninja holds onto his arrow. Not going to throw that just yet. For now, the fight is over, but one more arrow does not land anything.
Oh, they're going to catch fullback, though. They're going to drop a Mystic Flare onto one stray Meepo. I don't really know why he's there. He's almost going to kill off Skywrath Mage. In fact, he will. With that Geostrike damage, he'll just barely kill off that Mage. But trading your life as Meepo for a support is definitely not worth it. I don't really know what the plan was there. But again, in that fight in the dire jungle, Tengen, they were just outnumbered. The Meepo was the only one not there for Isurus, but Tengen, though they were all in the jungle area, they weren't all in that fight. Like, the Serpent Wards were dropped, the Overgrowth was dropped, and an arrow was thrown and everything for Isurus, but Tengen, they were just kind of all scattered all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know. These fights have been very peculiar coming up from both teams. Yeah, I wasn't even sure if or where the Meepo was the entire fight, and apparently he ended up behind the tier 2 towers of Tengen. I'm not sure how he got there, but in the end, he'll be back soon enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was just pushing bottom. He almost got that tower kill, but yeah, sorry, just go ahead.
Oh no, that's completely fine. Meepo's going to respawn with his reduced spawn timer, and he'll farm up his jungle very efficiently. But for now, I think it's going to calm down. I kind of wish we'd have a little bit of a cleaner fight, but the positioning for both these teams has just kind of been sprawled out everywhere, and there's a lot of these little mini engagements that are going on. The supports like drop everything at the beginning of it, and then they just kind of run around quite erratically throughout the team fights.
It's also really hard to have clean fights when your Clockwork is failing his initiation. He's going to run to Merlito Jr. and he has Dust, so this is going to for sure be a kill on the tree, and he's going to try to cast something. Yumilov's even going to get shackled out, but the Cogs making it a little bit difficult for the Batrider to actually make that happen. Still, Hookshot is up, and Clockwork gets a free one as he runs headlong into a very, very vulnerable tree.
Yeah, I don't know, just finding another kill, although Clockwork hasn't found like a single hookshot that's actually led to anything. He has been able to make good use of the battery assault as well as these phase drums, just running people down with battery assault. He looks for another hook, misses.
Oh man, I don't know how many hooks we've actually just not even caught on camera, but his hook percentage is extremely low right now, and it's not the worst thing in the world as fullback does jump onto Skywrath Mage. He will get an Echo Slam and Fissure, but Tunurla out of mana, out of damage. Here comes Ayumi going to catch one of the Meepos. However, he will get instantly armored up, and now the Battery Assault won't be doing that much as the poof damage will nuke down that clock really low, and they will bring him down. Another jump forward, though, from Tunurla as Nuzarus does come in from the side. They do get the kill on the Meepo. That's a little bit of a better trade for the Isurus Gaming side, as the rest of their team up on top will look to pressure the tier 2 tower. Meepo is pretty strong at the moment, and the fact that Tengen didn't pressure him early on is going to start to bite them in the ass.
Yeah, a little bit, but still, these last couple of engagements with the Meepo have been really poor. I think Tengen are still going to be okay, even though they committed a whole lot. I think this tier 2 tower still should survive up in top. They have the tools that they need to defend against it. Yeah, Meepo's magic resist coming in big there. I think had that been any other hero, or any other 5 heroes rather, caught into that Echo Slam, they would have all instantly died. But lived to fight another day and picks a kill off on the Earthshaker and Clockwork. Yeah, Viper TP's top and tier 2 tower is going to take very little, if any, damage at all. I think the Siege Engine's going to die before it gets one auto attack. They might look for an arrow on this Viper, but still, he has the backup there, and this Morphling's starting to get very big. He has the Lincoln Sphere as well as the Ghost Scepter sitting at the top of that word chart, and he's just split pushing to his heart's content. Noobs R Us, once he has that Ethereal Blade, I'm pretty scared for Isurus, even though they have a Meepo that's doing well.
And the Ethereal Blade is actually a pretty good item against Meepo. Of course, it'll make the poof hurt a little bit longer, a little bit more, but Rampage G will run straight into a very angry Skywrath Mage, and they will annihilate that Shadow Shaman Ninja. Should keep himself alive, but yeah, if you could nuke down one Meepo target, then it becomes very clear for your team which one they should be focusing. And sometimes it is hard to determine like which one is the most vulnerable Meepo because of positioning and health values and whatnot, but the one with the shotgun is always going to be in the worst position because he's the slowest, and he's also going to be at the lowest health value, plus he'll probably be near dead because Morphling shotguns really hurt, especially when you combine that with a Skywrath Mage, Ancient Seal, Mystic Flare straight after. So once he gets that item up, the Meepo is going to be in a little bit more trouble, but also the Shadow Shaman and even the Mirana, they're very vulnerable to this burst damage from the Morphling.
Yeah, I don't know, Ninja, we haven't really felt the effectiveness of this Mirana that much. Eventually she'll be able to right-click decently. She pushes out lanes fast with this build, but other than that, she really hasn't done much. She has the power treads, she shot a couple of arrows, but I don't know. 1, 3, and 2 on this round. I haven't been entirely impressed by Ninja's play this game.
Alright, Ayumi, there's no way you can miss this. He does land a hook finally at fullback into the Mystic Flare. That's what we were asking for before, but fullback's still alive. Looks like he will not get the retaliation kill onto Ayumi Love as he finally gets a hook shot into a kill. It only took him 23 minutes, but hey, better late than never.
Yeah, for sure. The Meepo is trying to turn that, and had he poofed in his Meepos a little bit faster, potentially could have gotten the clockwork counter kill. But over the past 7 or so minutes, this Meepo has died 3 times. Yeah, just getting caught out in very awkward situations. I don't know, we'll have to see. Tier 2 tower up on top is not going to look too healthy, as with 4 heroes from Tengen Gaming's side on that lane, it should fall very quickly. Clockwork might be caught in a very precarious situation. But I don't know, it's decent. They force out the glyph at the very least and should be able to take this. Only gonna delay that for 5 seconds.
That's a Morphling working away with a double damage rune. I don't know, I think that might be the second one he's picked up, but yeah, Morphling does benefit a little bit more from double damages. The people jumps in, he's gonna annihilate the Morphling, and then Railgun gonna get lassoed back. I mentioned before that he'll be kind of happy with this, but not in this situation. The Nevo with the shovel is gonna beat him down.
Yeah, now the clockwork on the backlines. He's being chased down by the Mirana. They pop the dust, and now the Echo Slam on a Ninja with all the creeps following him. They're going to obliterate the Mirana. Yeah, this Earthshaker's had the greatest waddle-in Echo Slams that I've ever seen. But still, a fairly good trade for Isurus Gaming. They got the Morphling as well as the Viper, whereas Tengen got the Shadow Shaman and the Mirana. So still fairly even, as nobody has gotten a tower just yet, but I think Isurus are going to be more happy with what they got.
Shadow Shaman unfortunately dropped his wards very far away from anything else. I mean, he brought the clockwork low with that, but the wards are unable to actually make a tower push, and that's really what you want to be using them for. But still, their Meepo is getting really frighteningly big, and Fullback is looking for kills very deep behind the tier 2 tower. I mean, I think he probably is spotted by the tower, so Tengen are not going to be caught unaware, but they might be caught unaware due to this Nature's Guise. Both the Treant and the Batrider invisible, and if the Batrider sees anyone, then they're probably going to get lassoed, no matter who, I think.
Yeah, for now, Tengen are in a 4-man group, and they're playing very defensively on this side, as they did see the Meepo on the map. I think he was looking to pull the creeps away with the haste rune that he had earlier on, but for now, they're all going to back off as Meepo moves straight to the Roshan pit. So this is the next objective. Meepo's fairly fast at taking this down, and, well, he doesn't have a Meepo clone to poof back and forth to the base, but I don't know, they should be able to take it in mid. They pull back the Skywrath Mage. It doesn't really do much. His Clockwork Quick Shot does land Merlino Jr., but he pulls the cogs away from the Skywrath Mage. Ulti Merlino Jr. going to pay the price of this Roshan for the Meepo, but still, Isurus should be fairly happy with that. Meepo gets himself an Aegis, and I think he'll be able to get out alive, going forward by the Batrider just defensively. For now, they're going to be able to get away with it.
Tengen, they really don't want to be fighting right now. I don't really know why Railgun has his 9-second BKB charge on cooldown now. It didn't seem like that was a really dangerous fight to take, but I guess playing a little bit safe is going to punish him in the end because they don't have that up online. They don't have the Echo Slam for another 10 seconds. This Meepo can pretty much solo kill whoever he wants on Tengen. They have to stick together, and they're going to look for Ninja. Hookshot up in 10, but Ninja should be fine as the ultimate from Mirana does go out. We'll get caught with the fissure. Jump forward from Chiller, launching the dust. That's going to be a very easy kill on this Mirana, who's not having the best of times, but I think how good the Meepo is doing for them is going to outweigh the poor start of this Mirana.
Yeah, and as the game goes later, Mirana will be able to pick up her items one way or another with that Midas ticking down. So yeah, for now, Meepo is king in this game. That might change as soon as Morphling gets his shotgun. He's about 500 gold or so away, not very far at all, especially with this Veil on the Earthshaker. A whole lot of magic damage. Amplification is... Oh, yep. Catches out the Clockwork. He lands a hookshot, but yeah. Probably not even worth throwing that. I guess it's going to coincide with him respawning, so it didn't matter in the end. But yeah, Meepo showing his killing potential there with the full poof combo.
And Merlino also going to get demolished in the jungle. I don't know what it is about the dire jungle of this game, but it seems like every single team has now Railgun going to get lassoed back. He does have a BKB, he will pop it, but the physical damage from Fullback is just so high. Where's the rest of Tengen? Noobs Are Us is in the Radiant Secret Shop, and, well, no one else is around. This is just so awkward for Tengen. They're just getting picked off one after another. So the Batrider does certainly help with that, as Noobs R Us does get his first shotgun kill bottom lane onto the Shadow Shaman. But getting these trades for them is not really great, because Meepo's only going to get stronger.
Yeah, and now Meepo, if he wants it, almost as a completed Scythe of Vice, or we could be seeing something along the lines of a Scotty, if he should so choose. I don't know, Meepo has the shop as his oyster right now, and yeah, I mean, even though the poof damage earlier on was the bigger deal, right now, if he's able to get all 5 Meepos right-clicking on a single target, that's, I don't know, upwards of 650 damage per swing of those little shovels, plus the Geostrike damage. It's absolutely absurd. Now he does have the Scythe. His kill potential is huge as they hookshot in. They catch a couple of them with the Veil on top of them. They don't get the Echo Slam there just yet, and they haven't got out all 5 of them. Micro, let's see. It's going to be tested, but now the Echo Slam comes through. They're going to get the Aegis off the Meepo at the very least. Where's the backup to keep this Meepo alive? He's going to be isolated completely. They don't have an Echo Slam. He's trying to fight for all he's worth, but fullback focus down with the Ethereal Blade on the Morphling. Not a lot he could do there. Just getting caught out with all of his Meepos.
The problem with Meepo is that he knows that he's the deadliest hero on the map. Also, though, Tengen know that as well. So they're going to take precautions when they're hunting down that hero and bring in everything that they've got. And, well, they demolished 2 lives of that Meepo. The second life, he literally couldn't do anything as he just insta-gibbed almost by the Morphling shotgun. And it did paint the target for the Viper Strike, but yeah, Meepo at that stage, there was nothing he could have done to get out of there. Maybe if he had a Meepo back home, he could have gotten some outs and then possibly escaped successfully, but yeah, the Earthshaker with the Veil just helping out in the vast amounts of magic damage. And even though Meepo does have more magic resist than any other hero base, it's not going to help him when he's up against Ancient Seal, Veil, and a shotgun.
Yeah, for sure. That is quite possibly 100% or more magic amplification.
Oh, Ayumi.
Oh, yep. Going to find a hook shot in as they get Rampagey. The arrow's going to land on Clockwork, but no follow-up for that one, as the Shadow Shaman is going to be the only pick-off. These supports have been getting picked off left and right throughout this game.
Well, that's what happens when you have Clockwork and Batrider. They're, as we said before, some of the best single-target initiators in the entire game, and Meepo with a Blink Dagger can do that job very well, and well, supports tend to be really soft, and Batrider does love that combination. So both sides, really, their supports have to watch each other, as Morphling does find Scarbus with the shotgun. However, I believe he missed the waveform. If that hit with the ethereal effect, then that definitely would have secured him a kill. But for now, he's going to at least force out the 10-second BKB charge from the Batrider. So that was totally worth it. As long as no one dies up top, Batrider's still looking for a kill, but he has the rest of his team behind him. Tengen, they can't afford to fight this because they only have 2 heroes up here. If they get caught, they will get wiped. But it looks like they will make the smart decision and back off.
Earthshaker hasted up, has Echo Slam coming off cooldown in 5 seconds. Isurus need to be careful as well, as the support is coming in for Tengen. Currently, Meepo is split pushing down in bottom with 4 of his Meepo clones. I believe he has 1 with the rest of his team on top of that. That is the main Meepo with the Blink Hex. So we'll have to see as... Oh, what a time for a pause, as Meepo looks like he's about to get jumped by this Morphling.
Oh, they see the Morphling too.
Puppy pause.
Yeah, Frankers. It's as Frankers as it gets.
Pretty much. I don't know. I think it's almost manners not to, like, instantly blink away. Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Okay, so we're going to assume that Morphling's going to waveform forward and try to Ethereal Blades mid waveform. But, yeah, Meepo has a Blink Dagger, and he's not going to get caught off by this, I want to say, almost strictly because of this pause. Tengen, they don't have a quicker way of initiation, so fullback is almost guaranteed this escape.
Yeah, they have the Blink Fissure coming up from the Earthshaker, which could catch out the Meepo, depending on where he blinks. But if he blinks south, I don't think they're going to be able to get this at all.
And also, actually, Meepo has 3 heroes right behind him, though the Batrider isn't that healthy and has no BKB. Maybe Isurus are going to be suckered into taking a team fight here because they think it's only the Morphling and Viper. I don't think they're aware that the rest of Tengen are right behind them, though. So if Isurus are unaware of this fact, and if their intelligence is a little bit faulty, then they might just try to turn this one around. Meepo might hold his ground, blink all of his bottom lane up towards top, and then try to make a fight happen. If that does happen, I think Tengen are going to take this one pretty handily, as the Earthshaker does have a level 2 Echo Slam available.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how the initiation is going to break down. But for now, the pause is going to continue. Ready whenever, coming up from Merlino Jr.
Unfortunately, Tengen are not ready. God, these pauses, so many delays, and, well, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to fight, or do you think they're going to retreat? Because they don't have their Mirana here.
Honestly, I'm not sure having the Mirana there is really going to make that big of a difference. If anything, the Moonlight Shadow is going to be the biggest part that she's going to commit, unless she lands an arrow. We'll have to see. I think they'll just back off. I think that's probably the wisest way to go about doing it. But then again, I think either team could be suckered into feeling that there's only one or a handful of heroes there. So honestly, I'm not sure who's going to make the executive decision because right now the only heroes from Tengen they're showing are the Morphling as well as the Viper and the Meepo on the side of Isurus.
I think part of this is going to be Isurus wanting to fight because they literally just popped smoke on 3 heroes. And I think there's a little bit of like mind gaming there towards themselves because when you pop a smoke, your objective is to get kills. And they see a place where they could potentially get kills, therefore they might want to fight. If they didn't just smoke up right now, then they wouldn't have that same mindset. They might be a little bit more cautious on jumping in to this fight. So I'm going to say, just off the top of my head, that Isurus Gaming are going to jump in and Tengen Gaming are going to take a slight trade advantage.
Fair enough. We'll just have to see. Sometime in the near future, at least I hope. Tengen Gaming, please respond. Okay.
Oh, they heard
Nice.
you.
They did. G comes out from Noobs R Us and Morphling backs off. How boring.
Damn. Well, a fight could still happen as the Isurus Gaming side, they're still smoked up, and Batrider might want to know Tengen are just going to back off completely. That was so anticlimactic. Oh my god.
Absolutely. I mean, if you get seen there and you think that the enemy might have people behind, it's pretty scary to go through as an arrow is shot by the Mirana, doesn't catch sight of anything, doesn't hit anything, and we're all good as Morphling picks himself up an ultimate orb, presumably for the Mantis style to get himself out of the ultimate coming out from the Tree and Protector. I think that would be a solid option as he goes in onto the Mirana and just obliterates her and joins the rest of his team with his replicate. Yeah, that's the strength of your shotgun Morphling there, sitting at more than 200 agility when he's mostly agility morphed, or actually fully morphed. And yeah, nothing the Mirana could do there.
Yeah, that's just a casual 400 damage nuke with the Ethereal Blade alone. Don't really want to do the calculation on the Adaptive Strike because I'm talking right now, and math while you're talking is never a good idea, but he's definitely capable of 100 to 0ing the Mirana, the Shadow Shaman. I want to say even the Tree and Protector can be 100 to 0'd if he doesn't have armor on himself, and even then, I think he's going to be vulnerable to the right-click follow-up. So Morphling, though he's not the strongest hero in the game, that is still the Meepo, is definitely capable of solo killing pretty much no matter who he wants if he does see them alone.
Yeah, for now, the push is going to come out from Isurus up in top with the Subwards committed to this tower. It looks like they're going to be able to get it one way or another, as really Tengen haven't committed enough heroes to save this. There's a living around a creep as they blink in. They catch out the Clockwork to start this off. They force step away, but they're not able to get him far enough away, I feel, as Ayumi Love is still in here as BKB popped by Railgun. TP away from the Batrider after the BKB, wait for him by the Morphling. Not going to catch anybody as Clockwork Flare doesn't give them vision. The Shadow Shaman, he's walking, he's standing alone with the dust coming out from the Sky with Mage, just obliterated. Noobs Ross gets himself a mega kill streak. As the Shadow Shaman does get the kill on the tower at the end of the day, so I think Isurus are going to be happy with that trade 1 support for tier 2.
Unfortunately, the one Meepo clone that was up there was way back near the, closer to the side shop area. If they had that...
Oh, hookshot lands an Ethereal Blade shotgun. Ooch.
Okay, well, Morphling is definitely capable of getting solo kills, as I said before. But right off of that, they're going to try to look for Oshan. Unfortunately, they're not going to find him as they do get a hookshot in onto Scarbus. He's going to get kicked out by the Cogs, and Firefly will ensure his escape. Morphling without that Ethereal Blade is going to want to play it passive in between those cooldowns. I think he actually can get a solo kill on the Batrider if he does see the Batrider. And Chinarla will throw the Fissure plus the hookshot. Ayumi Love has hit pretty much every single hookshot since we called him out in it. But now the Mystic Flare, can they bring down this Batrider? He's going to force staff his way out. The Flare... The Arcane Bolt might kill him off. The birds are flying, and Emilov has another hookshot. That Aghanim Center providing some serious work. The BKB does get popped off, but the right clicks will be enough as Noobs R Us does find another solo kill. He's going to kill off fullback solo? Okay, I didn't think he was able to do that, but Morphling has a lot of damage, apparently.
Apparently. I don't know. This is a huge win for Tengen there. Yeah, I think all that the Clockwork needed was the Aghanim Scepter. Just gave him the mentality that, well, on a 12-second cooldown, it doesn't matter if I miss as they catch vision of the Tree and Protector. Where's the Fissure? They have detection? Yeah, they do, and they'll blow him up. There's your Ethereal Blade Shotgun being put to more good use as a monster kill streak is being made for Noobs R Us. But yeah, I don't know. Clockwork found his mojo and just hit 5 in a row.
Maybe he's just throwing a lot more because of the lower cooldown. And
I think that's what it is, to be honest. Like, I think it's as simple as that.
Well, Morphling still threatening that shotgun. Even if he doesn't have the waveform, a shotgun blast plus adaptive strike will kill off the Shadow Shaman, almost guaranteed. And by almost guaranteed, I mean 100% guaranteed. So Morphling's going to replicate right back to the Roshan pit, secure his Scotty. So not only is going to give him a lot more bulk, a lot more damage in the shotgun, but also, you know, just having that cold effect may or may not prove to be a difference when you're dealing with a Bat Rider.
I'm not a huge fan of the Scotty pickup. I would have liked to see the Manta before the Scotty, but still a really solid item for the Morphling. And, well, you said earlier that Meepo's the scariest hero on the field right now. Honestly, I think that's Noobs Are Us, and the past couple minutes have kind of showed that, as even the Meepo's not immune to being soloed up by this Morphling, especially with the Meepo now going for an Eagle Song, presumably into the Butterfly. I do not like this pick coming out from the Meepo. He needs more tank as he gets veiled, and now, oh, he's caught out alone. Scarlet Mage ulti, he brings in the extra Meepos, not a chance.
And Morphling, well, he doesn't have a gem or anything, and Rampant G is, well, very close to danger.
Oh, they popped the Lincoln Spear, they hex up Noobs Are Us. Where is it going to break down as he goes for it? Oh, he's gonna Force Staff up to the high ground. If they didn't, Overgrowth Force Staff away from the Morphling. He's Strength Morphing here and Replicates away. BKB forced out by the Bat Rider in the end. Big win for the Morphling.
Yeah, and even if he did go down once, I don't think they could kill him twice after that Aegis, because he'll just waveform out and even probably just turn around and insta-kill someone on his way out. So it's very dangerous trying to kill off this Morphling if you're Isurus. They absolutely need their Meepo there, and he's going for Eagle Song, as you mentioned before. I don't like this either. It does make him do a lot more damage, but clearly damage for the Meepo isn't the issue right now. It's just not dying to this Morphling, and Eagle Song actually doesn't help you in doing that. I would like to see an Eagle Song for the Morphling. A Butterfly for him would be pretty kick-ass, but for right now, Rampant G in a little bit of trouble as the hookshot does fly and hit onto Merlino Jr., actually. Poor Tree. He was just standing there innocently, but he ended up taking the bullet for Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, I don't know, just not a great spot for your Tree to be in. There's really not a safe place in the map right now. With the Clockwork, with his level 16 hookshot, the range of initiation is just so strong. Morphling can roam around, pretty much solo anybody in the game. This is a really hard game to play support in, as the tier 2 tower is going to fall in the favor of Tengen. They won't go high ground for now, but we have an Earthshaker Aghanims, as Mirana should get blown up instantly. Where's your waveform, Ethereal Blade? It's nighttime, they haven't caught vision of each other just yet. Morphling, oh, Ninja. Oh, Ninja.
How about that?
There you go.
Oh, jeez. It's really just difficult to watch. If you're Mirana, you have like less than a second in order to respond to the Ethereal Blade with Leap. And if you're not completely 100% on point and expecting that Ethereal Blade blast, you're just going to go down. There's nothing about it that you could do, as they do lasso up a fake Clockwork in the mid lane. So Tengen, it looked a little bit rough for them around the 20-minute mark when the Meepo was going around killing everyone. But now it's the Morphling's turn to go around and kill everyone. And I would be a lot more scared of a Morphling late game, because apparently he could insta-kill your biggest threat in the Meepo. Tengen are looking pretty good in this game right now.
Oh, they look for a fissure. They found out the poor Tree, and Merlino Jr., he gets crit to death by the Earthshaker. No shotgun necessary.
Yeah, if they do use a shotgun there, then Tengen are going to be a little bit more cautious in this push, but Noobs Are Us, well, he's going to use his Replicate, which was getting ganked up by a couple of Meepos, I think, and try to turn it around for a shotgun kill. Unfortunately for him, the Meepo did get out alive, but he's going to put pressure to the bottom lane while the rest of his team is pressuring the mid lane. Clockwork is most assuredly going to look for hookshot in, as he does get a range creep. That range creep is real dead. Meepo gets an Ethereal Blade, so he's going to look to do some shotgunning of his own. With Poof, it does do a lot of damage, although it is not as bursty.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, quite literally a double-edged sword, as, oh my goodness, Rampagese almost gets blown up. Not going to have the range for the adaptive strike. But yeah, I know, they jump in, look for the Clockwork, they pull him back into the rest of the team, they follow up. Where's the Meepo Poofs? He's going to look for them as the Scarlet Mage ulti going to do huge damage to the Tree Protector Morphling. Echo Slam onto the Meepos with the Aghanim Scepter, just obliterates everybody's beyond godlike streak. 4-2 Nurla, oh my goodness, that slam.
Yeah, Earthshaker, it turns out, like in case you guys didn't know, is really, really, really good against Meepo. And I don't know if the Meepo uses Ethereal Blade in that fight or even used his Scythe. They're not on cooldown, so I can only guess that they weren't available or they weren't used, but that was a pretty tight team fight for Tengen. I mean, they lose an hero, I think, but that's fine, because one hero in exchange for the game is something that I would definitely take.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. It was a bit of a shaky start for Tengen. The Clockwork wasn't holding his weight for the first 20-so minutes, but once he got that Aghanim Scepter, I think he missed that one hookshot onto the range creep, and that was it. But yeah, late game Morphling, something to be scared of, and Meepo, although he was the king of the house for quite some time after throwing away a couple of deaths, that was pretty much it for Isurus Gaming. So Tengen are going to take the series 2-0 after the death win in their favor after quite a long delay. At least we had a fun game to watch. 40 minutes, not a stomp by any stretch of the imagination. Got to see a Meepo, so can't really complain.
Yeah, so big thanks to Fullback for making this game a little bit interesting. Also, Noobs R Us made this game very interesting as well. So, yeah, at the end of the day, Game 1 was an insta-win for Tengen because Isurus Gaming were nowhere to be found. Game 2, as you could see, well, Tengen did take that one as well. So it's a 2-0 in this series, and that should just about wrap it up for us.
Yeah, I think there's no more games because both of the series have had teams that showed up late or didn't show up at all. So thank you for watching here on HeflaTV. If you like the casting and want to see more, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at HeflaTV. The VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke. Later on in the day, I think I have another batch of VODs to upload. They might not get up there until Coucher comes back, but that should be later on tomorrow anyway. So, at the end of the day, thanks for watching, and GG to both teams.
GG, guys.